What is up, guys? Welcome back to a weekly review. We're going to be going over some setups for this week, some things I'm interested in, and other things and other stocks that I'm willing to look at. So without further ado, make sure to hit that subscribe button and let's get right into it. As always, we look at SPY first. SPY provides me with majority of my setups during the week. I like trading SPY the most. The contracts are the cheapest. The spreads are usually the best, and just simply it's the easiest to trade. When you trade individual stocks and other ones, you have to watch for spreads, other volatility, and other things. So it could be very tricky. I like sticking with SPY and QQQ, but QQQ has no setups, and we'll get into that. So let's dive into SPY, right? So overall, when we're looking at the chart here, we had this downtrend. We formed a low at this 350, and ever since we've been doing what? Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Finally, just last week, we made a higher high, right? So I see that, but there's some other things I really want to key on. So let's zoom into the chart a little more. This level right here seems to be some sellers, right? This 420 level. We came up, touched it once, boom, sellers pushed it down. Came up, touched it again, sellers pushed it down. Came up again last Friday, sellers pushed it down. Now, one thing I do want to notice is that we did see this pullback on a Friday, and after a really good week, as we've seen a breakout, and we've seen basically a from 411 to 418, so a really good, nice move. We can expect on Friday some sellers to step in, and a lot of people selling their positions, and a lot of selling to occur. So definitely something to watch there. And another thing I like to notice is that if we can go, let's just check it out on the 4-hour. Let's go back to the daily. One thing I really like to notice is that we still, even though this candle was red, we had this wick down below and we pushed back up into this 418 area. So, and we still held above this high, above this previous high. And, so we definitely broke and held above the high. So with that being said, I definitely think the uptrend is still very solid. Now, if we were going to try to play a reversal off this 420 level, it would be risky. And one thing that I like to note is that we're in when we have momentum like this, when we see this breakout, we had consolidation for weeks. Finally, we see a breakout. We want to be a little cautious, and especially trading on a Monday, you want to be careful. I'll try to be a little bit of risk off. At least I try to. Mondays aren't my best days in trading, and it's because I don't have any, the weak sentiment is kind of decided by Monday, right? We could see a large drop down. It could change the whole picture, or we could see a nice push up and, it could change the picture as well. So I like to see Mondays form out, and then I kind of form a bias along with the daily and, continue from there. So 420 looks like a big level. Now, if we do pass this 420, the 430 and the 430 to 431 supply would definitely be the next spot to see some type of seller step in. Now, that's a far ways to go. We could play we could play calls in between here, but I'm just giving you key levels that I'm watching. This is on the daily, but if we go down to the 4-hour, we can see here how this formed out on Friday. We've seen this push up in the pre-market Friday morning, boom, push down. Some buyers bought it up, some buyers bought it up a little bit, and this next candle is around 418.6. So again, we did reject off of this level, and we have seen in the past that 420 is a level where there is sellers at. You can see right here, we touched it again. Yeah, so there is sellers in this area, but again, be cautious on a Monday. Now, say if we push down on Monday and we come into the next day, a few dollars down from that point, I would definitely look again for sellers to be present in that area. It's up to you how you decide to use these levels. For me, I decide right in the past few weeks, I've been scalping. So very quick moves. I haven't been looking for the bigger move. Now, I like to find the bigger move. It's just this market has been a little tricky. We've had momentum to the upside. So sometimes, as we can see on QQQ, this is why I want to show you the setups on QQQ are weird, was we blew through a lot of levels, right? We didn't have much hesitation, and we consistently grinded up and made some nice moves to the upside. Now, again, when we're looking at this chart, it looks bullish, right? We had higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Now we're here, it looks like a bull flag, and on the 4-hour, and I definitely think we can continue higher. And one other thing I want to point out on this is that all the tech sector stocks are kind of in the same area. We have different type of it's a little tricky because for the last few weeks we've been looking like, oh, big tech is at resistance or at supply, and it's been breaking out because the momentum is there, right? Look at Apple. Higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. It's been doing this for months or weeks. So we want to be careful about that. Now let's go to the 4-hour. We can see this high of 183. Apple's high was at 183. We're at 175. So with that being said, if we can get up to this 180 to 183 level, I definitely could see sellers step in and make a nice move off of that level. So that's definitely one supply zone that we could see price action get affected by. Also, we had this resistance. You can see it, one touch here, 2 touches here. We broke through here, but another touch here, right? So multiple touches in this area of 176, and we're touching it now. And we started to reject. Ideally, 180 to 183 would be where I would expect sellers to be placed, and potentially we could profit off of. So definitely there. Again, we have to be careful though because of the momentum and strength in the tech sector. So with that being said, QQQ isn't my favorite. Apple, this is a nice level. Now we're at a point where you see the new traders try to reject or try to go, short, which it's fine. Like I'm telling you guys levels to go short, but and I do the same thing, but you have to manage your risk very properly, because if not, you can get very smoked, as you've seen in the last few weeks. I'm sure you've seen a lot of people get smoked on puts because they just think, oh, because we're at a resistance, or oh, because we're at a supply, it has to reject. No, it's just like any other trading strategy. Think about it. There's no bulletproof strategy. The only strategy that's bulletproof is you implementing risk management. And that comes with experience, and that comes with having discipline, right? If the trade goes against you, hits your stop loss, you're out. You can always re-enter and make that money up. I promise you. The hardest part is stopping out. When I was a beginner, I didn't realize this, and I was like, oh, it's going to come back. I lose that, all my money. Then I don't even live to trade another day. So please, when I'm showing you these levels, watch over them. You don't have to trade them, but for someone that's going to go into this week and expect to make money, you have to have proper risk management, especially when you see conditions like this. We see different sectors not aligning, right? So if we go to Costco, another stock that a few of my buddies, Jay Dunn's looking at, and I'm looking at as well, we see some major consolidation, right? And what does this look like off to the eye? Well, we could see some type of triangle forming here, right? We could see potentially some type of big move come in the future, and we break out of this level either to the downside or the upside. So could be a major thing to watch. However, there's a few things with this. It's a different sector, so it's obviously not going to follow tech. But also one thing is that options have big spreads, and it's more risky to trade. It's not small account friendly. So if you're looking for something small account friendly, please stick with SPY. Don't go to SPX. Don't go to QQQ. Just focus on SPY. There's plenty of setups. I believe it's just purely the best. You could buy contracts, 0-day expirations for potentially 50 cents to 80 cents. So $50 to $80. Or you can go next days. When you use the next day expiration, it buys you a little more time, right? They're not as volatile as 0-day expirations, and it helps your risk because of the way the contracts move. So there's a few other ways you can play it. I like doing all of what I just said, and it helps me trade, especially when you're in tough conditions, or you're not exactly confident, but you want to put a trade on. So the biggest part about trading is managing your risk, and I can't make that any more clear enough. So Costco, again, we can see some potential breakout. Let's go to the weekly here. Yeah, look at this. Look at this weekly chart. We had a nice uptrend. Look at this triangle. I mean, it's just like consolidating. Now we're tightening up, right? The range is getting smaller. These ranges are getting smaller, forming into this little ball here. Somewhere, somehow, this is going to make a move either to the upside or downside, and you could profit off of that as well. So again, it's not something I typically trade, but definitely something that maybe you and a lot of other people would trade. So thank you guys for watching. I'm going to keep doing these every Sunday, and I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Peace.